thank you so much for coming into town early and joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're coming from Pittsburgh, right?
I'm from Orlando.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said Orlando.
Everybody thinks I live in Pittsburgh because I'm there.
Right. I see you there a lot. Yeah.
There's people that have like followed me online for 4 or 5 years now, and then I'll say something about living in Florida, Orlando. They're like, "You don't live in Pittsburgh?" They think I've lived there for as long as they follow me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm there all the time.
Yeah. A lot of your content probably comes from there. Yeah. So, you grew up in Orlando?
No, I grew up in Michigan, Livonia, like right near Detroit, till I was 13, and then moved to Florida.
Okay. Gotcha. Parents moved, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the reason for the move?
Divorce.
Oh. Next
wow,
topic.
Kevin.
Next
Too soon, dude. Too soon.
I was a perfect setup. No, but that's what it was. They got divorced, and then my mom ended up moving to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest. I have an older brother and sister, and I kind of had the choice because they both stayed in Michigan. But I was like, yeah. So then I just moved to Florida with her.
Sunny Florida. You're growing up in Michigan. You're like, I'll take some sunshine.
Now it's like now every time I go to Pittsburgh, because I have family that still lives in Michigan, but I hardly go up there. But I go, obviously, I'm in Pittsburgh all the time, and it's the same thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, so I get the exact same feeling when I go there. It's just gloomy and misery.
Yeah. Dude, Michigan is one of those places where, because of all the industry and things that have come through there, it is a very different place than I imagined it would be. I went to Michigan and it is beautiful. Like, it's super pretty. And I remember when I was there, we were crossing, and I forget exactly where was the place that had bad water for a long time? Flint. It was outside of Flint somewhere. And I remember we were driving along, and there was just it's super green, super pretty. We were driving, and there's this really nice river, creek, kind of thing. And it's pretty wide, and it's beautiful. And I'm talking to my friend who I was with, and I was like, man, you guys must have swam in that all the time growing up. And he's like, I've never been in that water. And he's like, you can't get in that water. I'm like, what? Growing up, I grew up in Missouri, and that's the thing. There's a stream or a creek. You're hopping in that thing. Yeah, you're getting in it. It's we used to there was one pretty close to my high school. There was just a river that just had parking spots, and there's just rope swings, and we all just go get in the water all the time.
Was that James River?
It wasn't the James River that we would specifically be on, but same idea. There's so many big ones through there where it's just they just go get it. And I'm like, man, that must have been so fun. You guys float that when you're a kid. Yep. And you're like, nah, that's full of three-eyed fish and plenty of chemicals from the whatever plant down there.
Yeah, Flint is literally known for bad water. That's what it's known for. So
it's crazy.
I want to get in that nor ever drink it.
Yeah, right. And it's just so crazy because you're sitting there and you're like, oh yeah, no, some factory in the 60s poured something in there that'll never come out. So they'll come out in 200,000 years. So can't use it.
Is that is it that long that it's going to be contaminated?
I don't know. I'm probably making that up, but it feels right.
Well, a crazy amount, way past our lifetime.
It's something where it's just it is destroyed with whatever they just got pumped into there. And it's this beautiful thing that anywhere else you'd if that river was in Missouri, it would be floated on every day.
Yeah, that sucks.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, for those that don't know, Dean Perrone with Acton Sledge is at least how we know you. Mm-hmm. You've been at Sample Triad for the last 3 years?
I think 3 years, yeah.
3 years now. And you're at our Edmond grand opening as well. You, I'm excited to sit down and do a podcast with you, man, because I feel like every time that I see you, which is, at least once a year, it's always the most hectic time for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's running around, the event's going on, and everybody's in the same place all at the same time. Man, and I've always enjoyed talking with you, but I've only ever gotten little stints where I get to have conversations. So I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more, man.
Yeah, you're all obviously being an owner, you're super busy, and it's even on my part, it's I don't want to go up and bother you. Even I know I wouldn't be bothering you, but it's I know you guys have your hands full and you're throwing this huge event every year. So it's the last thing I want to do is hey, pull you aside and talk to you for a long time or anything like that. Just because I know so much goes into those events too.
Yeah. And anytime during Sample Triad or any events that we do, please do that because Thomas will attest to this. Anytime we do an event, I'm used to our first few years where we were still kind of figuring it out and we didn't have a big team. So we'd put on these events and, I'd be, tweaking it or like making sure everything was running smoothly and, putting out fires. And it was a lot of me and just a couple other people that were handling all of it. So it was me doing a lot of it. So I was constantly jumping around doing other things. So I think that's burned into my brain now that when we have these events, that's like, I just get mentally prepared to do that. But then the event starts and we've done it enough years now and we've got a big enough team and so many people that know how to handle things and put out fires as well, that I find myself just kind of bouncing around and like anxious and like constantly checking on everything, but never actually doing anything. Sample triad for me tomorrow will probably be me just stressed, running around, I will look so busy, but I will accomplish absolutely nothing. Talk to me all you want because I could use a distraction from that.
Yeah, it's pretty much what he does all the time.
Just with more people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll say too, for anybody, listening or that watches this too, if you've never been to a sample triad event, I've been in this industry, I guess, probably since 2013 with a couple different companies. And I would say easily it's one of the best events we've done or I've been to. It's, for like a store event like that, it's probably the largest and probably the most well ran.
Thank you.
And I know the first year we did it, it was myself and John, who is our athlete manager. And I think when I took your guys' account over when I came into the sales aspect of for Axe and Sledge, I think you guys invited us out, but I think at the time or whatever, so we didn't come the first year where I had your account, and then we came the next year, and again it's like we had no idea what to expect. So when we were here, I remember like saying to John, and we had another girl with us as well at the time, but all three of us were kind of like, what the hell? We're like, this is huge. Like the amount of people, and also I would say like the culture you guys have built. To me, I still talk about that to like other people when we talk about events. And I've told Seth this as well. It's like the coolest thing for me, the first event we did, was how many people show up wearing triad shirts, but they're not like, the triad shirts from that event.
Yeah, right.
There might've been, there's 100 people there wearing triad shirts, but there's about 25 different triad shirts. Like, you know what I mean? They're all different ones.
Designs.
Different designs. And I was like, everybody has shirts on and they're all different, like, and you guys, it's like you guys have locked down this whole community with such a great culture and following and loyalty with amongst your customers and stuff like that. So it's super cool for me, just coming here to see how the stores, because like I said, I've done tons of different events and for a lot of different stores, and it's like, I think you guys have kind of set the benchmark of how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We put a lot of work into the event, but honestly, most of the credit goes to how awesome the people of Oklahoma are. They've been that way. We moved here in 2015 and we knew nobody and we moved here specifically to open up the store. And, we had certain aspects of the business model that we want to implement. We had to learn a lot, but the people of Oklahoma have been just so supportive of what we've done since the beginning that that's the big difference maker there. And no matter how much effort we put into planning and running an event, it's the people of Oklahoma that show up and make it what it is. So
yeah, and just speaking on that, it's like I've seen just the few years I've been here, I see a lot of the same people each year. They're back and they always stop by and talk to us or whatever, but it's the same people. So I get to see them also each year as well. So
yeah, that's
and a
cool.
lot of them were at the last opening as well. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's cool. Like when you guys open a new store, here they are again, supporting you guys.
Starting to make some friends in Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But huge compliment though, especially from somebody like you who's been in the industry for a long time and sees a lot of different stuff. It is really that is a massive compliment, and so we don't take that lightly, man. It's something that, like Kevin said, the people of Oklahoma and Oklahoma City specifically in the surrounding area has like been so wonderful to us, and our staff puts in a ton of work to make it run as smoothly as possible. We're excited this year. We'll have the most staff at the event ever. So really excited about that, and just more hands to help and more people to be able to serve while we're there. And it's, man, I'm really excited for tomorrow. It didn't really hit me until I saw the tent go up today, where I was like, oh yeah, like tomorrow's the big day.
That's when I get excited. I want to see the tent. So Dean, how'd you get into the industry?
It was, for me, it was kind of weird. I've always worked out on and off. And, I think at the time I started, I was working out, and at the local gym, I had a lot of people talking to me about, competing. And I'd never competed, nor had I ever even thought about competing and stepping on stage. I was like, no way. It's just not in my personality. Well, it is in a way, because most people that know me know I do a lot of stuff online and do a lot of the spoof videos for us and all the dumb stuff and all that. So you would think like I wouldn't mind being on stage, but I'm not a huge stage part. Like, I don't mind prepping for the show and the dieting and the cardio, but like the stage part to me is like the worst part, where other people love that spot.
Right.
But at the time, a lot of people at my gym were like, why don't you compete ever? And I was like, so I put that in my mind that I wanted to step on stage. At the time, I was kind of using like 5% nutrition, like supplements and stuff, and following Rich and all that. And then I ended up getting sponsored by them. And I ended up, that's when I started kind of getting on Instagram. And the guy who prepped me for my show at the time, he was with 5% as well. So that's kind of was like my introduction into more of like the fitness industry. I was, like I said, I was working out always, and I was using supplements and stuff like that. But once I kind of got onto Instagram and started prepping for that first show, and then I was with 5% Nutrition, that kind of, I think, catapulted me like into all of it. And I just like the whole social media aspect of it.
Right.
And,
You kill it on social media, man.
and thank you. But it's just like being, I think also like the whole with 5% and Rich at the time, because I was with them for about three and a half years or so.
Yeah.
So that obviously helped doing a bunch of events, Olympia, the Arnold.
Got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah. And I was always there with Rich doing those things. So that was super cool.
How'd you like working with Rich?
It was awesome. Like, a lot of people ask me that. And then of course, going from Rich, who was obviously one of the most polarizing figures probably ever, whether you like him or hate him.
Right.
I remember watching when him and I first started working out together. We would watch Rich Piana videos when we'd be about to go to the campus recreational center to go work out, and we'd watch a video and we'd go work out together.
So when I went from Rich to Seth, that was another thing I got a lot too, with people are like, what is the difference? And I'm like, they're kind of the same, because they both say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, right.
But Rich, he was awesome. Again, like, I think people either loved him or hated him, right? It is like, because he, and I think he was the first to say whatever he wanted, do whatever he wanted type of deal. He also, I think, was a great marketer, obviously. I think he was one of the first guys to just bring on a bunch of people to help market. Like myself, he had a big team of like sponsored people out there doing a lot of the work on the ground and blowing up the business. So I think he was super smart in that aspect of it. But again, like behind closed doors, like I wasn't super close with him, nor would I, try to portray that. But I think I did 11 events with him. Awesome guy in person. He was always super nice. A jokester as well. Like, I think a lot, which some people might know or not, like he was always the guy that was just talking crap and like messing with people and stuff like that. But he was at every event we ever did, and I always still give credit for this. Like, we were always almost the last people to leave.
Yeah.
Always. Like he would stand there, even when he did Bigger by the Day, that whole huge YouTube series, and he went up to like 307 pounds or something.
Jeez.
And like, he was on his feet all day. And, but I remember one year we were at the Arnold, back then, there was line, for 4 hours to like meet him. And like the Arnold had shut down, I think at like 5 o'clock or whatever it was. And it was still probably almost like 6. I mean, he still had a huge line, and the security guys finally came over, and they're like, we got to go. And I remember Rich saying flat out to the guy, he's like, I'm not saying anything. He's like, you guys want to kick him out? You kick him out. So he's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, oh. So he would stay, until the last, fan.
That's super
for him.
Yeah.
But the security had no problem kicking people.
Yeah.
They were like, time to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was, I mean, I thought he was great to work with. Super cool guy, super nice to me always. So.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always very telling. You only hear that every once in a while, but like the big stars within the fitness industry that they do a big event and they have a line of people that want to meet them, and those are like the diehard fans. You'll be 12 hours sometimes, it seems like. And the Trend Twins were actually this way, that I mean, they're killing it in so many different aspects that's like they don't need to sit and talk to every single person in line. But we had them out around this time last year, and we ran the event. It started at 9 a.m. and it went to,
I think it went to 4.
3 or 4. So like, people would hopefully show up by then. They were there until, I'm pretty sure, 10 o'clock at night talking to people.
Yeah.
So,
Like they were supposed to be packed up and leaving at 4. And it's like, we still had hours of line, and the thing that I thought was like specifically cool about it too was it wasn't even like a, hey, are we gonna, it just like they just never stopped. Like it wasn't one of those things, like it wasn't like, it didn't seem like an active decision. They're just like, no, we're here till the line's gone.
They didn't start to rush it at all. They took their time with the very last people. So it is cool when you hear stuff like that, that it's like, this person at least understands and appreciates the fact that these people have like such a fandom for them. And like because I feel like it would be really easy to take that for granted at some point, or like start to feel like,
Well, I feel too, it's like there are certain guys that are big in the industry that you see them at these events, and it's like, I'm here for 2 hours. And it's like they're 2 hours, and they leave. They do leave, and it's like, and again, I don't know if that's their choice or maybe the company's choice or who. So I'm not pointing.
People got stuff to do,
But it's like you have people that do that where they only give 2 hours, and you have people like like you're saying, the Trend Twins or like Rich or whoever, like they'll sit there for 8 hours talking to people, and but it was cool. Like again, with him, I always stood at every event. I stood next to him because I used to just be the last guy before him, and we always had like pictures for him to sign, and I would be like that guy. So I always used to get to hear firsthand of people like telling stories, and it's like, I've literally seen grown men crying, like older women, and they get up there and like, I don't know how many stories I've heard people or how many times I've heard people get up there and they were like, I was in the darkest place in my life and you pulled me out, or your videos did this, or hearing you say this. And I was like, it was crazy because it's like, like from somebody that's maybe not in the industry, they just see this guy and they're like, it's just some big steroid guy. It's like, to be there and hear these stories time and time again, I was kind of like, these people are making a difference. Like you may not know that because you don't know anything about the person or the industry or whatever, but it's like when I hear people like time and time again saying that to these people, it's like they're impacting people. It's so super cool to hear that type of stuff.
That is a cool thing too, like getting to be that guy at that event too, where it's like you are hearing firsthand, you're seeing, it's not like, and I know even from just doing events that we've done or whatever, and just seeing where it's like, it's not like, in the 11 events or whatever, it was like there was 2 people who were like that. No, it's like a lot of people who are like, man, like we had people, even for like the Trend Twin event, again, as like an example, we had somebody drive in from, I think Georgia was the furthest. Drove from Georgia to Norman, Oklahoma, just for like an opportunity. And you're just like,
it's just like, I think 12 or 13 hours.
Yeah, right. You're like, okay, man, like people are serious. Yeah. So it's that's really
that would suck
cool.
if they went, but if they left before that person would have gotten through the line.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with Axe and Sledge?
So so I was with 5% for about 3.5 years. I left I ended up leaving just maybe a couple months before Rich passed away, just because I wanted just to do more in the industry or like a bigger role, I guess. Yeah. And I didn't go straight from 5% to Axe. I don't know if you guys know Cass Martin. Do you know her? She's a female.
That name sounds familiar.
She was pretty big. I mean, she's still big. She has like I think over 2 million followers. But at the time,
decent, yeah.
But at the time, she was just starting a company as well. So, and I had met her at the Olympia, I think like the year before. So I actually just shot her a DM and said, I don't know if you remember me. And I said, I know you're starting a company. Are you looking to sponsor any athletes or this, that, bring on anybody? And she got back to me. And then I left, when I left 5%, I went to her for about a year. And, but again, huge female fan base. So, I think I was the only male, and there was probably like 15 or 20, females like sponsored.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like the best fit for me.
Sure.
And, but at the time I was kind of like getting all these like affiliate deals with people.
Right.
And Seth, I had met Seth, like 2 Arnolds in a row just through, actually one of the guys at 5% Nutrition. I met Seth. So like, and then I saw him out at like the LA Fit Expo. So we knew each other just from passing by or whatever. And, so he was, we followed each other. And at the time on Instagram, I used to just be getting all kinds of like clothes and nut butter deals and pancake deals, like all this different stuff for, and I was doing unboxings all the time.
Yeah.
And like Seth, he's said that he's like, oh, we still just love watching all your unboxings. So he was getting free stuff like every week and whatever. But while I was still with her, that's when Action Sledge started. And, they had reached out to me and just said they wanted to talk about me coming on, to work with them. And at the time they had no athletes, like nothing. The Action Sledge was only maybe like 6 months old or something like that. And, so when, I think it was 2018 or so at the Arnold, or 2018, 2019, I left. I was still with her at their booth, but I snuck away for a little bit and went over to the Action Sledge booth and, ended up talking with those guys, and they were like, we want to bring you on, give you this, give you, whatever. And they were like, we don't have, at the time there was no affiliate program, no nothing. We didn't have the name of like the demo crew. We had nothing. But they were like, we want to help help build that and all that. So
that's super cool.
Yeah. So they actually reached out to me and wanted me to come aboard. And like at the time, like I knew definitely I'm leaving, but I like, of course, try to play it cool. I was like, let me see what's up.
Yeah.
But like in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going with Seth and over there. But so it was like, a week after the Arnold, I told her, I said, hey, I think I'm going to part ways and thank you for everything. And then I just went over to them. So like early 2019, maybe. So I'm coming up on, I think 6 years or almost 6.5 years. Back. So so I came on with Seth and they flew me up there like the first week or whatever and just went over all kinds of stuff. And from there. And then I think for the first year I was the only like sponsored athlete. So that's back then I used to, get into like the YouTube videos with him more and stuff. It'd be just me and him, working on. And then we started bringing on, other athletes and stuff like that.
Sure. So you've really gotten to see not even just the demo crew, but Action Sledge grow quite a bit.
Oh,
so.
yeah. When I started, I want to say there was probably like 3 people in the warehouse.
Oh yeah.
And total, I think there might've been like five employees or something like that. Now we're like 40 something.
Jeez.
Right. Yeah, crazy.
It's like,
yeah. That's wild. We, with our stores, we're, I think, around 20 employees. Define Nutrition, we've got 1. So.
But it has been super cool to, like you said, to be there for it all, just to watch. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and a lot of different changes in the brand, just with that. So and obviously seen it grow the way it has. So it's been super cool to be there for it all. So.
Yeah.
And so this is my perception, and maybe you can tell me if this is right or wrong, but I feel like, it's continued to grow over the years, but it really just took off with a bang. I feel like, I feel like as soon as, cause like it was one moment I saw Seth doing stuff with,
he was with Blackstone Labs for a short time.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And then it was Primeval.
Primeval, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. And then he was doing some stuff with, I think, Red, White, and Boom when they had their energy drinks, or America Energy. And then he went into launching his own brand, and it was like, okay, that maybe seems like it makes sense. And then it was like, at least here in Oklahoma, it's like everybody was listening to the podcast and everybody wanted Action Sledge. Yeah. So.
Well, and then they have, we have All American Roughneck, which is a completely separate company. So him and Bob, they've had that since 2016, I believe. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had that, which was, that's just strictly apparel. And then Axe, than the Axe and Sledge. So they both kind of took off, and even, All American Roughneck's grown into its own monster by itself.
Oh, really?
Limited releases and stuff like that too. Yeah.
Do you feel like there was something specifically that happened with Axe and Sledge, like a product or something that really set it off, or was it just everything around him and just like the popularity?
I think both. Like, I think it's obviously a lot with him.
Sure.
Again, like kind of doing the comparison with like Rich, just Seth is a polarizing
but
guy.
even that, like, I mean, we see big time, guys who are some of the biggest names of all time and not be able to cut it in this industry either.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's,
the majority.
There's a lot of big name pros or Olympia winners that have started their own brands.
Right.
Some of them start, 2-3 brands, and they've all failed.
Right.
One of the, biggest names of all time is Arnold Schwarzenegger when he launched his brand with Muscle Farm.
Yeah.
Didn't last very long.
No.
So
I can tell you the difference between a lot of those brands and your brand. You guys actually make a really good product. Which I think is like, I think that, from my perspective, at least, like, I think one of the things that has made Axe and Sledge so popular is like, when you strip all that away, you strip away, the marketing, you strip away, Seth, you strip away all that stuff. At the end, you have a fantastic product. Mm-hmm. And where I feel like, maybe it's the hubris or the ego or whatever that is potentially, I don't know, and maybe people are just being told to do things and it just isn't working out, it's just like, I'm just going to make a whatever product and put my face on it. And then when I do that, it's going to be popular because I'm on it. And then you're like, and then you actually look at the product and you're like, this is junk. Like, this is just not good at all.
Yeah, like I 100% agree. But yeah, like, to answer your question, I think it's, like you just said, it's a lot of different things.
Sure.
Seth obviously is a huge part of it. I think the marketing, we do great marketing. A lot of it's funny stuff. I think the overall message to more of just the working class person like that. Like, and again, that's how All American Roughneck was built too. It's kind of like the whole blue collar, kind of marketing to those people. Where you're just looking for everybody to create a better version of themselves. It's not, the brand's not just 100% bodybuilder brand or whatever, you could, whatever, just if you're a mom, a dad, or young person, whatever it is, just a hardworking person, and that's kind of who we try to cater to, I guess, for the most part. But then, like you said too, obviously products have got great feedback, everything you do. And Seth is very particular in what's going in the product. Right. And,
good
like
dosing, full disclosure, cold temp. Like it's you run the gamut on it. It's all great stuff.
And I agree with you. I think you would think most people would always want like a great product, but I think there are a lot of people who think just their popularity is going to sell the product, and that's not the case. I mean, we see it with athletes or just people on Instagram all the time. Like we've dealt with it firsthand, where it's just like followers always don't equate to making sales.
1,000%.
So like, you'll have some people that have 10 times more following than I have, and I outsell them all.
Dude, we can talk about that for sure. Like even with our ambassador program, like we have people, and don't get me wrong, like we have some that have like a huge following and they do amazing, but then we have, shout out Jack Johnson.
I was thinking of him too.
Who a great guy, local guy, trainer at a gym down here, and slings product, and it's just like,
and he's only got I think like 500 followers.
Literally, he's got like 500 Instagram followers,
and he's like one. I think at least like in the recent months is in like our top 3.
Yeah, so, I think has been pretty consistently since he's. Shout out Jack. I also know he's listening. He's going to listen to this, so shout out Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah. Hopefully you've got family in the car while you're listening to this, and you can be like so.
Look how good I am. My quick little story. My dad did one time where he did it really well, and he did it at an age where it was like perfect. I think it was like maybe like 11 or 12 years old, and we're driving in the car, and I had friends in the back seat. I think we're coming from school or something like that. And he has the radio on, and the DJ comes on, and he starts talking, and Dad's like, "Oh, I know this guy." I'm like, pfft. You know that guy. He's on the radio. That guy's like famous. Like you don't know someone famous. He's like, and he like gets his phone out and calls, like makes a quick call and like talks to the guy on the radio. And the next thing I know, the guy on the radio is like, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend, Tim Wilhite. And I'm like,
That's
friends are
hilarious.
freaking out.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
Your dad's so cool.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
I just hope to have that cool of a moment as a dad one day. So
right.
Yeah.
It was all pre-recorded. You just had a tape in there. To this day, you still didn't know. Just your dad's voice. He's like, okay, how long will it take me to make a call? Okay, take me about this long. Okay, I gotta give myself 35 seconds.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think like in to kind of just give you guys kudos too, along with like making really good products, is you guys fall into a category that we speak about a lot on the podcast, and I think even kind of recently gave you guys a specific shout out for this. Is you guys are very good at understanding your target demographic and understanding that target demographic can be encompassing of a lot of people, but also like the phrase that we use a lot is, and it's kind of a going joke for us a little bit, is don't make pina colada without the coconut. And the idea is it's like, well, if we're going to make pina colada, some people don't like coconut. So let's take the coconut out. And then you're like, okay, but then the people who like pina colada won't like it because it doesn't have coconut. And then the people who don't like pina colada, and you're like, oh, it doesn't have coconut. They don't like pina colada. They were never going to buy it anyway. Right. Yeah. And so it's like, we always try to, with our brand or whatever we're doing, it's just like, you got to put the coconut in the pina colada. You got to find, like, at least go for what you're going for. And I think like you guys do a really good combination of like being fun, but also having like a little bit edgy, but like doing it in a tasteful way too, where it's just like, it's not something that's just like crazy over the top all the time. And it's like, with that, you guys have a demographic of people who I feel like when they see a new Accent Sledge product or a new flavor or new marketing or whatever, they get that like, fuck yeah, like this is what we're about. And now I'm excited about this because this represents me and what I'm about too.
Yeah, we're big too. Like Seth always talks about, like, obviously a lot of people talk about our labels all the time. And like I don't know how many times I've heard him talk about just the experience too. Like with the labels itself, obviously having a great product ingredient wise, but like he always talks about, like, we want to have that label where you can't wait. You're excited to pull it out of your gym bag, right? You're like, oh, this is awesome. Just like a cool ass label. Yeah. And like, he's like, I want the products to be fun also, you know what I mean? And that you have that excitement to go work out and take the pre-workout or whatever it is. So, but yeah, that's what, I mean, nobody wants to put out a shit product, right? Never. So like we stand always behind the products. Taste, always wanted to taste good, the cool labels. And like you said, just going after that target, audience that we have. Right. Which is a very wide demographic, I think too. And that's what we want is again, just somebody that wants to have a kick-ass workout or use cool products and get good results. But it is, we have a Facebook group that's just an open Accent Sledge group, and then we have one for a private group for our affiliates called, it's a Demo Crew Facebook group. But it's just like you said, it's like every time we drop something, there's always, we'll see people, I see it all the time, like comments will be like, my wallet, or they're so excited. They're like, I'm just recovering from the last release. Like, I hate you guys. Because they're buying it all again because they get really excited every time something new drops. It's like, and again, it's like something like, now we have this National Lampoon's release. Like, just saw that. People are buying that just to even buy it because it's a cool thing, and that they're like, they want to collect, the tubs and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we try to. It's like we always want to have fun, but still get the job done. Right.
I mean? And I think, and that's the key is it's like, because we talk about this, and anybody who works in any kind of industry, like, understands, like, you're not going to appeal to everybody. Right. And that's kind of the idea is it's just like, lean into it in the right way, cast a big enough net. And it's like, there's plenty of people. Yeah. There's plenty of people out there that fall into that demographic. It's not always about finding every demographic that's going to love you. It's like, no, like, let's just realize that the target demographics that we have enough people in them, and let's continue to expand within that too. And like, we can find lots of people. So
when you market to everybody, you market to nobody.
Right. It's pina colada without a coconut. It's for nobody, like
you talking about the labels reminded me the first time, I think this was like the first year Accent Sledge was released. And I know, you know Alfonso. He burnt the rice when you went to Sean's. So
Yeah.
hi, Alfonso.
Didn't Alfonso burn the rice?
Yeah.
I think I heard something about burnt rice.
Creator of crunchy rice.
Yeah.
Works for a rice company. Doesn't know how to cook it.
Classic Alfonso.
We'll need just a short soundbite to send it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the clip.
Yeah.
We'll post that one.
Tag him, invite him to collab.
Alfonso to collab.
I love us.
But he worked for us for several years. He was our third employee ever. So was here when it was like a ragtag group. We're really just shooting from the hip on everything. We didn't have a whole lot of structure. It was just young guys. And he was a big advocate when Axe and Sledge was released to bring it in. So we were one of the first ones to bring it in here in the city. And I know it just went gangbusters whenever we brought it in. Like we brought in, a small, like a variety of everything or small amount of everything. And it was like immediately we were having to like bump our thresholds on it. And I remember like, okay, like I should, get familiar with this brand myself. And I bought a tub of hydraulic. I think it was the Shark Bite. And I remember like putting it in my gym bag. I was like excited to even just like put it in there because I was like, it's a cool label. Like I'm excited. And then I would be excited to like pull it out and like look at it. So that's funny. I didn't even know I don't even think I realized I had that experience until you talked about that.
The whiskey cola grind back in the day, or hydraulic. That was I know that one wasn't around for forever, but that was one that was like everybody I felt like who walked into the store, like every single person always pointed that one out.
Well, the first we had to change the label.
Yeah.
The first label.
The first label was
why?
We didn't want to play with
Jack Daniels. Yeah, it turns out. But it was, it's one of those things where like it got the job done while it was there with that label on it, where people were like, holy shit. Like this is
the amount of people that were like, I wasn't even needing this today, but like, what the hell is that?
I gotta try it.
They're like, no, I don't even like you'd be like, oh, it's like, I don't even care.
Yeah, like, I don't even like whiskey cokes. That just looks cool. All right.
Was it in the grind or just hydraulic, or
I think we had it in both.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's like an amino product. Like, it's like an essential amino acids. And they'd be like, what the hell is that? And they'd be like, I'm buying it. I don't care.
I just want to buy it because of the label.
Literally though.
It is. I still have, because we did shirts too.
Yeah.
I think I still have one or two of the shirts.
That's awesome.
So, I think that's from 2018.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
2018 Arnold or 2019 Arnold.
Yeah.
Do you guys get a cease and desist?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and I believe we reached out to them and said like, we wanted to work with them and do something. They were like, no.
Yeah.
Like, no.
They didn't want to do a license deal.
Which is funny too, because like that has been an industry change that I feel like we've really started to see over the last few years is all the collabs and people. I think it's been a really cool thing too with companies in the way that they've done it. You guys doing National Lampoon, like that's like something so out of the box of like what anybody used to think of. It went from seeing very few collabs or no collabs into
very basic flavors.
Yeah, and then now the collabs started to be like stuff that makes like surface sense, right? Where you're just like, oh, there's like a Jack Daniel, like, hey, you guys, we're going to do this together, kind of thing. And now it's
Transformers one from Core is like another unique one.
Super cool. Yeah. Where they're starting to do just like more and more unique stuff. And I think it's really creative and it's super awesome.
I just had this conversation with somebody about that. It's like, and still even now, I think a lot of the collabs are like food related or whatever, or drink related, and which a lot of the companies are doing. So like when we did, like Elf, it's basically a Warner Brothers collab.
Right.
So that was, I think, to my knowledge, I think it was like the only time somebody's done like a movie.
Right.
A collab like that. So obviously that was huge for us when we did the Elf one.
Yeah. And super creative too. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that movie.
And you can put it directly into why it would be the flavors that are going to be the flavors. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now to do this, National Lampoons, and it's like, again, it's another like movie thing.
Right.
So it's different, and like you said, even the Transformers one that they do, it's not just the typical, there's, like a Twinkie.
Whatever it is.
Nothing against any of those, but it's just like most of the ones you see are some sort of like food drink related.
Right.
But, so I think it's cool to do something a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's just like a really creative way of like, again, kind of reinventing something that's even already relatively new, but like people kind of just like, okay, hey, like we don't want to always have to do this, but we can find themes that make sense through these and then like use those as collabs. Like the Elf one's genius, right? Like it's real easy to just be like, well, the Elf, you know, he's all about this. And it's like, okay, you can easily make that make sense. And so it's really cool. Like with Core putting, you know, metal parts in their Transformer was. I'm just kidding.
Do you know
that's not real.
Do you know how difficult it was to get those licenses for the Elf and then the National Lampoon's deal?
I don't, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure they were fairly difficult.
Yeah, right.
Because again,
they're a
like,
big company.
Again, and like everything, I know there's a lot of red tape that you have to abide by. You know, like I know that for a fact, but it's like, you know, they want you can't do this or you can only do this and stuff like that. So I know that all falls into place. But I honestly didn't know we were doing. I had heard we were probably doing, you know, the National Lampoons. We were trying to, and then I didn't hear anything for a little while. Then I heard we got it. So I was like, and I love that movie.
Right.
You know, it's by far one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. And so to me, it's almost, I guess, because I'm older, and I grew up watching like Chevy Chase movies.
Sure,
and stuff.
right.
So to me, it's almost a cooler thing than even the Elf. Just for me personally,
Yeah, right.
Because I relate, like I love Elf too, but it's like I relate to that movie more. So to me, I was like, oh man, this is awesome.
It hits your guys' demographic really well. So
I got a hot take.
What is it?
So there's a reason for this, okay? And there's a slight story that goes along with it. I don't like Elf, okay? And I know it's the crowd is booing, and I understand.
Yeah, dude, we just lost listeners.
I know, but hear me out. Let me tell the whole story, and I think everybody will understand or at least appreciate. I don't hate it. But it's not my favorite Christmas movie, and it's not one that I will like actively seek out watching anymore. And there's one particular reason why. My senior year of high school, and we had 4 blocks, right? So each class was somewhere around like I think it was like an hour and a half or like an hour and 40 minutes. And it is the day before Christmas break. I go into my first block class and teacher's like, hey, it's the day before Christmas break. We're going to just put on a movie, right? So she wheels out the whatever. I don't know if we had flat screens then. I'm old, right? But they're like, we're going to watch Elf. And I'm like, okay, sick. Like, let's go, you know? So I sit there in first block class, like, all right, bet, you know, watch the first hour and 35 minutes of Elf. And I'm like, okay, cool. Bell rings. Okay, see you guys later. You know, Elf's about an hour and 50 minutes long, I think.
So you didn't get to watch quite the whole movie?
I didn't get the full movie, right? And I was like, okay, like whatever, you know. That was great. You know, walk into my next class. Hey guys, you know, it's the day before Christmas, so instead of doing any work today, we're gonna put on a movie. We're gonna watch Elf. And I'm like, okay, that's a little tougher now, right? Cool. Hour 35 minutes of Elf. Literally same hour and 35 minutes. Okay, second block ends, bell rings, go to lunch, come back, third block class starts. Hey guys, it's the day before Christmas. We're not going to do any work. We're going to watch a movie. And I'm like, don't say it. She's like, we're going to watch Elf. And I'm like, fuck. First hour and 30 minutes of Elf, right? Bell rings. I leave. You guys can probably guess what we did in my 4th block class. Sit down. Guys are not doing work. Watch the first fucking hour and 30 minutes of Elf again. So in one day, I just got Elf edged all day long, 4 straight times where I watched the first hour. It's like when Santa lands, it crash lands in Central Park, right? If you've seen the movie, it's like right before the end. That is the same spot. The bell would ring every single time. And I'm like, can we just watch like the last 15 minutes first before we start this? And I think I had like a bit of a breakdown that day.
Elf burnout.
Dude, literally. He still doesn't know what happened at the end of it.
But it's like, I'm happy to watch a movie, but to watch the same first hour and a half of a movie 4 times in a row between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. is a lot to ask of anybody.
It's not like you can even, like, you could pull out your phone and like not pay attention either. Like, you can't stare at the floor and not like even just, you're going to at least listen to what's going on.
Literally, man.
Oh, that's brutal, dude.
It was awful.
Dude, that's like torture. I feel like it's a form of torture.
Yeah, right. It's like I had a Groundhog Day dream where I'm just like continuously watching Elf just over and dude, that's the torture. It's not even just watching Elf over and over again. It's not even completing the movie. Like you just get no resolution. It's just the first hour and 30 minutes. You're just, okay, cool. And I'm just like, So yeah, there's my hot take, but there's a reason.
That's a good reason too.
Yeah, it's brutal.
No communication.
That's understandable
amongst the teachers.
No, we had a pretty big school.
Or,
and
or maybe
like,
there was.
Yeah, they were just like, all right, who all has Thomas? We're fucking with him.
I'm imagining it's like the 4 teachers were friends and are like, hey, I'm just trying to, at least this block, like I'm going to put on a movie. Like, I don't have any movies though. And like one person's like, I got Elf.
Yeah,
and
they're just passing the same DVD along. That would be the icing on the cake, right? It was the same Elf DVD for all 4 times that I had to. And so now I'm like, when someone's like, you want to watch Elf? I'm like, I will sit through it, but we gotta fucking finish it. I want to watch the end.
Yeah, watch the end first.
Yeah, literally. Oh gosh, brutal.
Like Warzone, like flashbacks, like PTSD.
Yeah, like I said, I got Elf edged all day.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Absolutely terrible.
That's brutal for any movie.
Literally, it could be my favorite movie in the world, and I would not want to watch it very much after that.
Yeah.
So,
what is your favorite Christmas movie? National Lampoon's is yours, right?
I'd probably say
National Lampoon's is up there. I'm big on that. I like the Jim Carrey Grinch. Is a classic. A good Home Alone. Problem that I find with Home Alone is like once somebody like I like National Lampoon's, I like Grinch, where it's just like it's one complete thing and then hey, we're on to something different. I struggle a little bit when it's just like, okay, it's afternoon of Christmas and it's like, okay, we're on Home Alone 4 and I'm like, guys, like we could watch something else. Like we don't have to go through
marathon.
We don't have to go through the entire like pentology of like Home Alone. Like we could just watch the first one and I'm fine.
Yeah, I'd say Home Alone's probably my favorite, but I might do the second one and then we're going on to something else.
Yeah. Once you get to the thard, you're like, okay, what are we doing?
What about the Christmas Story? Go ahead.
Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Oh, classic.
I haven't seen that one since I was a kid.
Yeah. I think there's like 4 of those though. Now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of those.
But the first 2 are good.
Yeah. Underrated. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Turbo Man. Those are my cookies. Yeah. Put my cookies down.
That is a good one.
It's turbo time
with Sinbad.
Yeah. Sinbad. A lot of Arnold references in this podcast. This is good. Yeah. It's turbo time.
I don't think I've watched that one actually.
What?
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
You got one to watch.
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as I was old enough, maybe not even quite old enough, but as soon as my dad felt like I was old enough, we were watching Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because those were some of his favorites. So like, dude, it was probably too young to watch, but Predator got put on.
A classic Christmas tale.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Oh,
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yep.
Yeah,
it is.
That is a good one. I forget about that one on Christmas though.
Yeah.
This Christmas, Die
Hard's great.
You got Jingle All the Way that you got to watch.
Yep. We'll watch that one. We'll throw on Die Hard. Yeah. Home Alone is
Predator. You guys got you and your 2 daughters and Alyssa, you got your Arnold Schwarzenegger movie marathon. And
I'm saying right now that I'm gonna be tough and we're gonna watch these tough movies, but we're watching Miss Rachel and Elmo Christmas themed stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
Frozen or something.
Yeah. Yes. We're starting to just branch into like the Disney movies where it's like, Elmo and Miss Rachel, like those are this
too political.
That's true. Yeah. To be clear, I have no opinions about Miss Rachel. But those are a little mind numbing, and we're starting to get into like we got to watch the first. Like the intro, like the first 5 minutes of Monsters University, and Alyssa and I were pumped about it. And then as soon as the music started playing and like the initial credits started playing, we got Riley saying Essential, which is Miss Rachel. And Alyssa and I were like, we really want to watch Monsters University though, because that would be a lot more fun than someone singing the ABCs over and over again.
I get it, dude, with the dog. Like, dude, Airbud again? Dang, Moose, come on, bro. But
we'll be excited for more videos that have a plot to them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Well, yeah, because with the young ones, you just get overruled.
Oh yeah,
like, you think you're going to watch something, but like you just said, if they don't want to watch it, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, we could do Elmo calmly or Monsters University with a tantrum.
Yeah, this is, what happened to picture in picture? That was a thing for a while, where it was like the TV, you could like split screen or put a little picture in picture, put another one down in the corner.
It was huge when it came out.
It was, and then
it was very short lived.
Yeah, but it did cover part of the screen. I remember when I was a kid growing up, my mom would always want to watch TV in the living room, but we had like a big screen TV in the living room, right? And I was like, and I wanted to play PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. I had Xbox at the time. And I was like, I want to play Xbox. And so she would let me split the screen in half, like you were doing 2-player almost, but she had Oprah on or whatever. And I was killing zombies or whatever I was doing. So that was cool. That's good compromise.
We need that now. I need that. Yeah.
You should need a second TV. How do you think that would go? If you just like mounted 2 TVs, like sports bar style, and you just had volume on Miss Rachel, and then you had, I don't know what you watch,
nothing.
Right. The Blues game on the other one or something.
We get to watch the last 5 minutes of the third period sometimes.
That's pretty cool.
If we get the girls down early enough, but
right.
Yeah. It's and yeah, I don't need any volume on that.
Right.
So,
We're going to bring back picture in picture. This is what's going to happen.
This is our movement.
That's right.
Just taking the
big on picture in picture.
Bring it back.
We should need TVs from 2008.
Yeah. Dean, I need advice though, because we are Riley did just turn 2. And so we are hitting the terrible 2s heavy. Great example of this. We had a full-on meltdown this past weekend because Alyssa refused to eat a banana that Riley was trying to give her. She's like, I don't want a banana. And just total tantrum. Any advice on how to get through that?
I tend to drink more. I don't know, man. Kids are like we were saying before this started. It's like you go through these stages. I have 4 girls, so I'm completely outnumbered at my house.
I don't. That's insane. Having 2 is like, if you would have told me that before I had kids, I'd be like, man, that's a lot of kids. I'm like, how are you here still, Dean?
Yeah, 4 girls. We had 3 female dogs. My wife, and then so I sometimes like.
Do you have to get a male cat or something?
Well, we got a dog, a fourth. So I have 4 dogs, which one of them is a male, which we got last year. So I was all for that.
Yeah,
I needed something with another wiener.
Yeah, right.
But he's kind of a bitch too.
Damn it! Come on, man.
He's real skittish. So I was actually up in Pittsburgh. I was at Action Sledge at the time, and they, my one daughter knew somebody that was getting rid of them, and they were supposedly free. And they were like, I have 3 boxers. That's what I've had.
Love boxers.
So, So it's a Rottweiler pit bull mix and a boy. So I'm like, it's free, and I'm like, go get it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm expecting like. You see these pictures of like these bullies, like the big bully dogs, or like
Rottweiler pit. A pit, like the 2 manliest dogs.
So I'm thinking of just like some straight killer. Like I'm like this big muscle dog.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's just like
call those a mosh pit.
He's a little runt. He's like skittish, like he was beaten. When he was
that's tough.
Like he's always like, I'm like, man. So it's almost like having another. But anyways, so just completely outnumbered. So sometimes too on my stories I'll tag. You can do location on Instagram. Some people will see it. I put the estrogen factory.
Yeah.
So I created that, and I'll tag that on my story sometimes. But it's like you go through all these different stages. Mine girls are all older now too, so it's like. It's like you said, like you were saying, like people tell you like it gets like you're at the terrible 2s and it gets easier. Where to me, it's like me and my wife sometimes be like, man, that was so much easier when they were younger. Because now, and like me and Seth talk about this because Seth's daughter's 16 or 17 now, his oldest one, and so me and him will do dad stories. When I'm up there and we're just talking about life in general. But it's like it's a whole different stress. You go through these stages with it's like especially when they all got their license, when they turn 16, or then they get their license, and when you see them like drive off for the first time by themselves, you're like,
not ready for that.
Yeah,
it's like so you just go through different stages, and it's all But I mean, I don't know. I just have Tracy deal with those tantrums when they were little.
Yeah. That's
it's like, yeah.
Because our second daughter was born a little over a month ago, and now that we have two, we're looking back to when, like, especially when we just had Riley and it was just her in her first year. It's like going through that, it was like, that was stressful. We were used to having no kids, and now we have this baby, and it's like, man, life is crazy. It's hectic. And now we're with two and looking back, and it's like, dude, having one was so easy. Yeah. Like, we are like, what were we doing? Why were we so stressed at that time? But you're probably looking at me of like, only two girls? Like, that's probably
like again, when mine were still younger, and my wife would be somewhere with all four, and say they're
my gosh,
like 10 and under. And she'd have four of them with her, and she would run into like friends or whatever that have like one at the time. They're just like, I'm so overwhelmed and stressed. She's like, I have four of them. Like, I'm like by myself, like doing this or doing that. There's been times where her parents now live in, by us in Florida, but her parents used to live in North Carolina. And sometimes she would go up there by herself, when they were all little, and fly with four of them, which I don't even know how the hell she did that. Like,
how did she not lose one?
I would have never. Yeah. I can't keep track of them now.
Home Alone style.
I don't know. She's way better at parenting than I am.
That is like, my wife and I, we don't have any kids yet, but we do coach a 15-year-old, like, very competitive travel volleyball team. My wife played in college and is a very accomplished coach. Shout out Laurel. Shout out wife. But it is really funny though, as like the years go on, is like we had, a whole group of girls last year and they were wonderful. And, just like anything, any group of, 15-year-old humans, you're like, you got some really good ones. You're like, it's got a good head on their shoulders. And you got some knuckleheads and you're like, all right. And I remember we were going somewhere. I was leaving a restaurant and I like pulled out, and someone kind of like pulled out in front of me all like frantic, and then like waved to like apologize. And I looked and it was like one of our former players. And I'm like, oh God, she can drive by herself legally. Oh my, everybody put their seatbelts on. Like, no way that person, like, she's sweet. She's good.
Let her leave and let her get out.
Yeah, right. You're like, that's right. That is the age where they get to do that. They get to start driving legally by themselves. Is that next year? And you're like, oh man, that's woo.
I remember
they're among us. They're on the roads with us.
Yeah, that is kind of scary to think about that. Yeah, at that young. It seems like too young to drive, honestly.
There was a time, all four of my girls played soccer and travel soccer and all that. There was a time, a couple of years ago, when just my oldest had turned 16, so she was the only one driving. And we used to take them for like the special like training, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the house. But Tracy would always, take them. Well, then when my oldest started driving, the first time, and again, I think this was a story from when I was in Pittsburgh because I'm always there. But she said, they went to training with Colt. It was the guy's name. And I was like, well, who drove? And she's like, Peyton. I'm like, she drove all four? And I'm like, so all four girls are by themselves in the car? And Tracy's on the other one. She's like, oh shit. Again, it's like another stress. Right, what if something happens? All four of our daughters are in the car by themselves without, it was like the first time the oldest daughter's like, oh, she drove everybody.
I'll take it. Yeah.
And I'm like,
your initial thought is probably like, oh, great. Like, I don't have to drive. Like, yeah, you take them.
And then you're like, wait.
I'm like, man, But it was funny when I said the term, she was like, oh, shit. I'm like, but yeah, it's cool though. Like, there's like, I mean, obviously you're going through it now. It's like parenting is something that's just, you go through all the different stages of the kids and all that, which, you go through and all that. It's just super cool. And I'm sure the daughters are like, I mean, the one's only a month old, but like all four of mine are like, even though they're super tight and close, they're all like, couldn't be more different.
I was going to ask how similar they are.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they all get along great for the most part.
That's nice.
But like, and they're all tight and close, but it's like, we look at each other sometimes, me and Tracy, I'm like, man, they're so different. Like their personalities a little bit. So it's kind of cool to see that also.
Our youngest daughter now looks identical to our 2-year-old. When they were both just like an infant, you put pictures side by side, and like I struggled to tell the difference. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, my brain, it's like it's just gonna be like Riley 2.0, but we'll find out, I guess. Yeah.
So that is such an interesting thing, and even from like my perspective, it's been really cool over the last 2 years. You watching Riley go from, you know, okay, I'm holding her, to watching her, you know, taking some of her first steps and being able to just kind of stand up, to how fast it goes from I can stand up to running.
Yeah.
And that's a real quick transition, right? Where it goes from like, okay, she's cool where she is, like kind of over there, I can keep an eye on her, to like, all right, all hands on deck. Riley's going to be climbing on, you know what I mean? But it's really cool though to see, you know, learning to talk, like all those kind of things, and even just in my experience with her, of like seeing her little personality like come together. And so it is, you know, like you say, she's just starting the terrible twos, and by the time she gets out of them, Ashton will be in them. And so, but it is, I think that is a really cool aspect that I think it is like hard to imagine a personality before it exists, you know, right. But it is, it's been really cool to see Riley kind of develop her own little thing of like who she is and how much she is such a blend of you and Alyssa. Yeah. And so it's curious, like, you know, cause you just kind of throw it into a pot and what traits come out, you know, it's like, it'll be interesting to see, you know, will she be less adventurous than Riley is, or will she, you know, like who knows, like you could have totally different. So.
Yeah. Have different qualities for Melissa and different qualities for me. So it's still the 50-50, but like a totally different person. Right. So yeah,
very
that's
interesting.
And that goes just like what you're saying about seeing somebody that, you know, one of your kids that was from the volleyball team driving. It's like, I've seen the girls like, you know, that my girls grew up with, you know, and I've known them since they were 2 feet tall, you know, and now they'll come over to my house and I'm like, like I'm like looking up at him. And I'm like, it's like a woman.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, this girl used to be like at my knees, and
literally,
you know, and now I'm almost, you know, she's a inch or two taller than me. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah,
yeah. And then they're like, see ya, and they're like you said, they're driving. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I've talked about this in the podcast before. My favorite part about coaching, and I say coaching, I'm a mascot more than anything. But what I like in coaching the girls, 15 is such a funny age. And it was a funny age as a boy. Obviously, I was never a 15-year-old girl, but like it's such a funny thing to see them because it is such of that like line of like childhood, teenage into like adulthood, where you'll see them where one day they are, you know, they might as well be 13. They're just a kid. You know what I mean? And then like the next practice they come in, their hair's all slicked back. They got makeup on. They like self tanner, all blotchy from like head to toe. And they're like, too cool, and like they're like, oh, like we're a woman today, oh congratulations, and then it's like next week they come back and their hair's like all tangled up and then they're just like, I'm just gonna play volleyball. Like, so that is like one of the really funny times where it is like we like 15 a lot because we want them to still have like some parent dependence and different things that like we feel like plays an important role into getting the most out of them. But it is really funny to just see like by the day how it's just like, oh, today I'm a woman, tomorrow I might be a kid again. I don't know. And it's like, man, I kind of miss those days when you kind of could just have that like, oh, I want to feel like a grown up. And then tomorrow I'm just going to not care about that anymore. But
I still do that.
Yeah, right.
As guys, I feel like we can get away with that a little bit more.
It is. It's also really funny because of like the dynamic changes of like having... I can't watch a 15-year-old girl cry that I know and have like a, you know, like a coaching relationship with, because I spend so much time with these girls, you know, my wife and I and our other coach, Kate, like we spend so much time with them. Like by the end of the season, it's, you know, 5 hours a week on non-tournament weeks. And then it's like tournament weeks. It's like, we're out of town, we're traveling, you know, we're there, we're all getting dinner. Like we spend so much time with them and their parents. Like you really get to know these people and it's a huge blessing. It's awesome. But it's really funny, you know, because I can't watch someone I know, especially like that's a 15-year-old girl, cry and not be like, everything's okay. Like, come here. Like, come to pie. Like, everything's fine. It's just volleyball. Where Laurel's a tough coach too. And it was just good. These girls need it. And Laura, like, there'll be a 15-year-old girl crying, and she'll be like, get on the bench. Like, get out of my face. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's okay, come here. But then I, like, think about it in the opposite. If we were coaching 15-year-old boys, and one of them was like, I was yelling at him, and he started crying, I'd be like, get on the damn bench. And Laura will be like, come to mama. Like, everything's so...
Because you were a 15-year-old boy.
Right. And so it's like, I understand. Yeah, it's like, it's that, like, shut up. Quit being a wuss. Like, get over that. And that's it's so... It is a really interesting dynamic that you have of that, like, cross gender, especially where it's like, you know, I can't do it. I can't look at a 15-year-old girl crying and not like, come here, I'll make everything better.
Yeah. Dean, do you and Tracy have, because like, I'll ask you next, but I'm curious, Dean, do you and Tracy have any kind of dynamic of like the tough parent and the softie?
Oh man, John's over there laughing. I don't know. Like it depends. I think we switch on and off. I guess you know what I mean. Certain things, maybe I'm way more strict, or you know, I might get mad about something and she doesn't, or you know, they'll go to her. Then, like any kid too, sometimes they try to, like, hey, can you talk to mom? She and then they go to her and say the same thing, but. Yeah, like, but I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of both in both of us, but it's like, there's a girl that works with us named Brittany, and she has 2 small kids, but her just knowing me at Action Sledge 2, I don't know how many times she's always said that, because every time I go up there, she'll be like, tell me, did you have any funny stories with the girls? I'll tell her like stuff, you know, because half the time they're making fun of me anyways. My daughters and stuff, they gang up on me. But she's said that so many times. She's like, I just can't see you like yelling or getting mad at the girls. And I'm like, well, I try to.
Yeah.
But I'm like, half the time I don't know if they take me seriously.
Right.
or like sometimes I'll fly off the handle, and like Tracy's like, yeah, you can't talk to him like that. Well, I just did.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Like, so, but yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of both. Like, and again, I guess maybe it would depend on like what the issue is or something. Like
Depends on the situation. Yeah.
But I think for the most part, maybe being girls, they probably go to her more, probably, you know, but there's some stuff that a lot of times I'll tell you this, like they'll ask me stuff and I'm like, go ask your mom.
Yeah.
Like, because like some stuff I may not care about, but I know maybe Tracy does, or you know what I mean? And I don't, you know, then I don't want to tell them something, and she's like, oh, and then I'm getting yelled at too.
Right,
so,
right.
So like half the time, so I'm that dad that 90% of the time I'm like, go ask your mom.
Yeah.
Riley doesn't come to me and ask like questions. She's not obviously old enough for that yet. But anytime other people ask me about questions about plans for Riley, I'm like, I don't know, ask Alyssa. Like I don't care either way, but like Alyssa's gonna have an opinion about this. And it was funny. There was a moment. There's been a handful of these moments actually where Alyssa will be like, you know, we'll be faced with some kind of decision on what we're going to do with Riley or our time or whatever it might be. And she'll look at me and she's like, I really think we should do this. And I'm like, you're like arguing with me like I have any say in this at all. Like, I'm just going to do what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what people ask me stuff too. Not so much now, but before, like, especially with like when they're all playing soccer and stuff, I'd be like, or they'll tell me something, you know, they'll be like, oh, are you going to this? I'll be like, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like I go where she tells me to go.
Yeah, right.
Like she'll normally tell me where I have to be and what time, and I'm just like, cool.
Yeah,
like,
easy enough.
Like, yeah, so it's like when it comes to scheduling and organization type stuff, that's like out of my hands. Like you said, like you said, it's like half the time I don't have a decision.
Life is just easier that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, just tell me where I have to be, or like where to go. I'm like,
I feel like it a lot of times too. Like I know I'm talking to all, you know, strictly girl dads here, but it's like but I just know how I even am with like the volleyball players. Like I feel like it would be so much easier for me to discipline a son than it would be to discipline a dog. Like it'd just be like Laurel, if we have all boys, like I'll go get rowdy with them, like whatever. But it's just like, if we have all girls, I'm sorry, honey, but like you're probably gonna have to do a lot of that because I just don't know how I'm gonna be able to do it. Like there is that, but there's that like father-daughter connection too, where it's just like all the girls always last year there was like some question that came out on TikTok where it was like asking somebody if they would be like if they would be a good girl dad or boy dad, and all the girls are always like, Thomas, you'd be the best girl dad. And I'm like, that's just because you guys know you'd be able to manipulate me. Like, you know, you get whatever you wanted, and I'd have no power. Like, there's nothing I could do.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, while you were saying that, that's what I was thinking, because I'm like, I think they know like they could come to me and I might be easier, like for, you know what I mean, to get what they want then. Cause again, like you said, there's always like in most relationships, there's always like that daughter dad relationship, or, you know, they say like, oh, she's going to have you wrapped around her finger, you know, like I'm sure you heard that, especially when they're that young. And it is true. It's like, as a dad, you always want to be like the guy, you know, right. You don't always want to be like the disciplinarian
for sure.
Yeah, it's like I want mom to be the bad guy.
Yeah, right. But I also feel like kind of similar. Like if we were coaching boys, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. Like if I had a son, it'd be easy to be like, "Hey, dummy, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? Like it'd be easier to like. I could just make that connection easier for that.
I was going to ask, for you and Laurel, do you think that there would be one or another? Like if you had a son and a daughter, do you think that it would be? You would be more of the disciplinarian with the son and Laurel would be more so with the daughter? Or
I think probably yes, and in reality definitely not. Both of them would be a gushy mess all the time. So I'd just be like, I love both. Look how cute he is. Like, we have a male dog and he could eat all of my belongings. I'd be like, you were hungry. Come here, good boy. So he doesn't, thankfully, but I mean, he could like I don't know. We're just like, we've only had him for like 3 weeks, and and he's rehomed. He's a 6-year-old golden doodle named Moose, and he's the best, right? Yeah. And so we're still in that like. He's literally not done anything wrong, but I also don't know if he could do anything wrong right now, where we'd just be like, you ate the TV and the couch today? Like, man, what do you know? Yeah, that's a good boy.
Can you guys guess who the disciplinarian is in our household?
Stanley.
He lays down the law sometimes. Stanley's. We have a boxer Boston Terrier mix.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's he is 11 years old, and he's turning into a grumpy old man. He's still pretty spry.
Yeah,
but Riley's really young. Her favorite activity right now is she gets 2 treats. Thomas got to see this the other night. She has a treat in either hand, and she runs around the house screaming as the dogs chase her. And luckily, they're like old enough that they're like, okay, like I'll chase after you. They're not like pouncing on her. So, but they'll get after her a little bit sometimes. It gets her real riled up. She loves it. So.
Riley's a tough one though. Riley's a rough one sometimes.
She is.
Yeah.
People tell us that the second child is the crazy one, that like,
that's
we've heard from other parents or
like, great.
Yeah. They're like, you think the first one's crazy, but then you have the second one and they're like jumping off the back of the couch, doing flips, climbing up ladders. And I'm like, Riley does all those things? Like, what's the second one going to be like?
2 flips? What's going on here?
No, that's how ours were. So our second oldest, we heard that forever. We'd be, hanging out with friends. They're like, oh, you're gonna have to watch her when she gets older, like all that stuff, like because she was always kind of the crazy one. And it's honestly, now that they're all a little bit older, it's funny because me and Tracy will be like, she's actually, I would say, almost like the most responsible one. It's really weird. Yeah,
the second one.
Yeah, it's in fact the third one just got in a little bit of trouble, and just for like coming home late, and we were trying to we're laying the law down a little bit with her. And then like I was having a conversation. Tracy wasn't home with our second oldest, and she's like agreeing, like not only agreeing with everything I'm saying, she's even saying stuff herself. She's just like, well, yeah, I mean that's the whole point of this. I mean, you got to get punished, and I'm kind of I was like, what the hell? So,
where did you come from?
Yeah, I literally, this was just last week, and that's what I said to Tracy. I'm like, who would have known Lexi? Her name was Alexis, but I was like, who would have thought Lexi would be the like normal, responsible? Yeah. But that's what everybody told us too. They're like, second one's the craziest one, which she was kind of like all growing up. She was kind of the more wild, crazy one or whatever.
When she was younger.
Yeah. With the crazy personality and she still kind of has a crazy personality, but to see her now where she's almost like turning into this responsible young lady, it's kind of like, what the hell?
Couldn't have anticipated the way she developed. So
I mean, I take a lot of credit for it.
That's right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I was like, that's got to be deep.
Yeah, right. Deep all over it.
I'm like, well, it's my parenting.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, you had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Any guesses on who's the disciplinarian at our household? You might know.
You mean out of you and
out
Alyssa?
of me and Alyssa, and I know you don't know a super.
I would say her.
Her?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably her.
It's definitely her.
Yeah.
I get in trouble for not disciplining enough.
Yeah,
so,
right.
It's like, what do you mean she's not allowed to eat a popsicle and jump off the back of the couch into some cushions?
We put pillows down. We put cushions down. What's the problem?
Alyssa's like, I just told her she can't do that.
You're like, well, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So. But no, it's probably partially because she's a girl, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what it is like to coach a female through life necessarily.
Yeah.
And where if it was a male, I might be a little bit more, but I think I'm with you. In reality, I'd probably still just be the one that's, I think a little bit like it may be just like my mindset towards it. And like, I don't know, kind of my approach. I don't know if this is right. We'll find out with Riley, I guess. But I always felt like as a kid, I learned lessons better on my own when I was able to make my own mistakes, where if I was just simply told what to do and the guardrails were kept tight, I didn't actually learn those lessons. It was just, this is just what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like potentially because of that, like there's, maybe some certain areas where it's like I got more defiant maybe as like a teenager of like trying to break those boundaries and really learn those lessons on my own. So
yeah.
Makes sense.
I agree with that because I had an older brother and sister. So I think by the time I kind of hit those years, like I almost feel like I had no rules in a way. Like my, not that I had no rules, but like my parents just weren't as strict.
Yeah. They relaxed a little bit more.
Yeah, because they went through all the crap with my brother and sister. So it's like when I came around, so I had like a lot of freedom, I think, and not that I made a bunch of mistakes or it was all crazy, but it's like, I always remember like, so when a lot of people from my high school moved because I went to high school like over in like Spring Hill, Florida, and but a lot of people moved over to Orlando and like almost every single one of them that I went to high school with that had like really strict parents or weren't allowed to do stuff in high school. Every one of them like partied, and then they all moved back home. Yeah. Like where to me, being on my own wasn't a big deal because I it's kind of just, what you were saying is like, I feel like I kind of had the freedom to make some mistakes and do all that before. And it's like, so being on my own, it wasn't that big of a deal to where these kids, it was like, no parents, they went crazy and then everyone of them flunked out of college and moved back.
Dude, it is crazy. You see that. We like in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of things that come to mind on this, but we have a family that I'm close with. I do jujitsu with them and they shop with us and stuff. And they've got 7 kids, 6 boys, and then the youngest is a girl. And so I just remember talking to the mom one time and being like, how? And all the kids do jujitsu. They're all, and they've got a good little plot of land, and they get do a lot of fun stuff. And you gotta have enough room to let them just run around. Literally though, they do. And but it's one of those things that's funny where kind of like that same thing where it's like your first kid, you're like bubble wrap, like oh my gosh, and then I remember like. As the kids kept coming, and like, and she's tough. She did jujitsu while she was pregnant, like through like most of pregnancy. And she's a badass. There's literally, I won't disclose who this is, but there's literally a time that she was competing at Worlds and like single match, whole like arena kind of setup thing. She is breastfeeding on the side, like, and then they're like, okay, it's time for, and she's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, put this away, take that. All right, went out and won. And you're just like, I'm back out and like, all right, back to, and you're just like, okay, Superwoman, like that's cool. To be the person that got beat by the lady that just stopped breastfeeding. Yeah. But like badass stuff. But I remember talking to her and I'd be like, how do you do it? And she goes, they're a lot harder to kill than you think. You're like, all right, like there you go. Like, I guess once you've had 7 of them, you are the expert on like, how hard they are to kill, I guess. Like, so many kids. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Our pediatrician was talking to me. She's got 4 kids herself. And I think and it's her last 2 are a little bit closer to like our kids' age. And she's like, yeah, you get to 4 kids and it's just, all right, who's got the baby? Yeah. It's like, anybody could be walking around with a baby at any moment. Right. So. Right. And that's how they are too. It's just like, all right. Yeah. Just 6 boys. Any of them could have the baby.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That sounds stressful.
Yeah. What do you mean? That's gotta be easy.
Oh man. How much time do you think we got left?
Probably not a ton, but we got a little bit.
Yeah.
What is what kind of getting back into supplements a little bit here?
Our podcasts have really turned into just talking about kids.
Yeah.
I think we had Sean, it was Sean Vasquez on the last episode. That's, I think, what it turned into as well.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I get it, with the dog. My life's kind of similar. I understand what you guys are coming from.
Dude, and the Roomba?
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle these days, dude. The app crashed, and so I got to reboot the app for the Roomba. It's a lot going on. But yeah, Forex and Sledge, obviously you guys have... I feel like you guys do a really good job at continuously like innovating and bringing new stuff along, and whether it's new products or just new flavors to like your current stuff. What's kind of I guess mine is just like being just like freshening stuff up. What kind of keeps you guys continuously trying to innovate the stuff that you're doing?
I mean, I think just what you said, just trying to, without reinventing the wheel, but just trying to make quality products. Obviously taste. I mean, I think the flavoring too is something we put a lot of time on, and trying to come up with some different stuff than
for sure
than a lot of other brands. And it's just like, I mean, you guys know, even with like Define or whatever, it's like you flavor test and over and over and over again, and some just don't hit and some do, and it's like going through all that stuff, which is a cool process because I've been up there for some of that too. So and I think from the this is kind of like going a different way, but it's like one thing that I always laugh about is, again, just because I see comments in our like Facebook group with the affiliates, is like, I think a lot of people from the outside that aren't in as far as the companies going, the manufacturing, they don't know how much goes into right. I'm sure you guys see that. Like they don't know how much goes into a product, and it's like, because people be like, oh, you should, like I see comments all the time like, you should come out with this, or you should come out. And it's like, well, we could, but that's like 8 months away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not like a week away like you think it is.
Right. We've made a few oopsies with situations like that. Accidentally tell one person about something that's coming, and they're like, okay, well, I'll be in once a week, every week, asking about it, and they're like, oh no, man, like we just
placed the order.
We're talking like spring next year, bud. Like this is a long time.
It's like not only does it take forever to get the product to where you want it, you come up with the ingredient panel, and you got to do all the flavor testing. Once you finalize everything, I mean, some of these manufacturers are 12 weeks out. So there's another 3-4 months. You know what I mean? People don't realize that. I think a lot of people think
your guys' labels take no time to make and design too, right? Yeah, real easy. Just throw that together. As
the one that has made most of our labels too, you don't think about how particular even just the label is. Like even if you're making like a fairly basic label, it's like you go to the back on the supplement facts or the nutrition panel, and you look at all the, that type down. It's like, okay, yeah, like you just type it up like in Word, right? No, you have to place, all the little lines in between everything. You have to make all of those. You have to place all of them in the right spots, and they get off real easily. So
yeah, it's crazy. And I think one of the cool things too, and I think we've really seen this, especially in the last like 10 years, and maybe this is something that's always kind of been a thing, but the last like 10 to 15 years is where I know we have our kind of experience in the supplement industry, is like, I really do feel like flavor science has come so much, gone so far, especially in the last last 10 years or so. It's just like the stuff they can make now is crazy how tasty it is.
I mean, you remember years that I still think it's funny because, again, I always like just relate this stuff to people that don't use a lot of supplements, and a lot of people still think like protein powders taste terrible.
Oh yeah,
is that like chalky? It's like No, they're delicious.
Yeah, literally. Like, I genuinely look forward to them.
It's good when they have that experience, so they know what it used to taste like, because you get some people that have never tried protein before in your life, and you're like, this is amazing. It tastes like a milkshake. And then they try it and they're like, that is not a milkshake.
You're like, this isn't like Dairy Queen.
Right, right. You're like, okay, well, it is a protein shake. Like, okay, you've clearly never tried this stuff back in the day. So the people that have tried that stuff appreciate what
this doesn't taste like real chocolate milk. And so that real chocolate milk you're drinking has 80 grams of sugar in it. And I feel like that's been a cool thing too, is just seeing how like with the flavor science, I feel like that does also kind of breed more excitement of wanting to make new products. I know even for us, it's like we try to get more creative or come up with new flavors, and because we could just, hey, let's try this. I bet that'll be good, and then we get the samples and we're like, holy shit, this is good. We just came out with recently like our vanilla latte defined isolate, and that thing's had me in a chokehold. Like I drink it every day. I'm like, I genuinely it's perfect. It's so good. And it's crazy that is where we're at, because I remember drinking, shout out Isomass Extreme Gainer, that tasted like old newspapers and cherry chapstick. Like, it was so bad. Like, that stuff was rough. I don't think they're still around, but probably not. Sorry if you are, but it is like,
that name sounds made up. It sounds like a 90s protein.
It was a real thing. Isomass Extreme Gainer, dude. I have to put so much stuff in there just to make it like tolerable. Oh, it was the way they got you was it was obviously a mass gainer that was isolate, allegedly, and it was extreme.
Don't go together.
Yeah, right. You see a lot of extreme. Well, when you're extreme like I was, they go together. But how they got you was it had all of your creatine and a multivitamin all put into one. Back
when they used to combine like everything all together, so they could just put more
purple, clear, like giant, like like the Cheeto Puff tubs that they see. Like, you'll see it looked like that, and brother, it was bad.
I remember. I think my first protein was. I think it was in high school, and I was like doing football workouts, so I wanted to try protein. My dad had some. It was, this is at least my memory of it. It was a black tub with German wording on it. It wasn't in English.
Hell yeah.
You open it up.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And it was a greenish brown.
Yeah.
You when you mixed it, you'd mix it with milk, and it would turn like a grayish brown.
Yeah.
Still not sure what flavor it was, dude. That was straight dirt.
Yeah.
So like when you
put another one of your dad's pranks,
maybe.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
So would it make the tub German so we can't read it? This is dirt.
Just out in the backyard, just got a little moss in it, which is why it was green. Idiot.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Grass out of your mouth.
Yeah. I'm going to make that tape about the radio show later.
Stuff that tastes terrible.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, you throw a little cocoa and some protein powder, and I'm game.
Dude, so. Yeah, it was. But I think, and now it's just crazy, man. You see what everybody's doing and all the new stuff that's coming out, and just the flavor profiles in general. Like, stuff's just genuinely good. It's really awesome. It's a nice thing. And even when there's, you start adding a bunch of ingredients, and we're obviously seeing a bunch of new things that can make the flavor profile like harder and harder to flavor. We were convinced forever that like there was just like with our Defined Pre Plus, we just weren't going to be able to flavor this. Like we hadn't even gotten samples yet, but we're just like sending it off for samples, and we're like,
Preston formulated.
Do your best.
Yeah. We're like, Preston, this might be too much. Like, I don't know if the manufacturer is going to be able to cover these ingredients up.
Some ingredients are just so hard to mask, like the actual taste of the ingredient. But it is, it's like you said, it's like sometimes you have a pre-workout that say, because I drink a ton of like the grind, right? I drink aminos all the time because it just helps me drink more water.
Yeah.
So, but like you'll have a pre-workout maybe that we don't have, or you don't have in like an essential amino acid, and it's like, but the pre-workout tastes so good. You're like, man, I wish.
Dude.
I would drink this all day long.
Literally.
Right.
So stuff has came a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You drink it just for the flavor, legitimately. Yeah. Dean, I meant to ask, I knew I was going to ask you something else. I got to ask you about Rich earlier, but what has it been like to work with Seth?
Great. Like I said, it was cool for me. I mean, they're like I said too, they're both somewhat similar. So it's kind of cool to go from one crazy guy to another,
Sure.
if you will. But I mean, as much as they're alike, they obviously are a lot different as well. But it's everything's been good. And it's been cool for me to just be there from like the beginning with him. And again, me being older and him, you know, it's like we kind of locked down like that demographic of the older, and that's why we brought in like some younger like athletes too, like to get some younger demographic as well. But yeah, I mean, just being able to be there and work alongside with him and formed a great relationship. And they kind of I've been very blessed and like fortunate enough for them to take care of me the way they have, and I kind of got, I don't want to say free reign to do whatever I want, but in a sense, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And being there as long as I have, they kind of know I'm an idiot.
Sure.
and
that helps.
And that's why I still do a lot of the videos, and so it's cool. Again, like, you know, like for me, I'm older than a lot of the social media influencers or you know, and then all the younger athletes. So for me to do a lot of the video stuff and be in them all is like, I just love it because I just have fun.
Yeah.
And it's cool that he still values me that way that he does and that. So, but yeah.
And so we talked about, your followers earlier too, and we kind of asked, but is there, and I know you mentioned that, you know, you've just gotten to meet a lot of people at all the different events and, you know, and have built a big following that way. But, I mean, all the videos and all the posts that you put up still get a ton of views, a ton of likes. Is there anything in particular that like you feel like you're doing different than anybody else out there? Or?
No, I mean, I've always told everyone it's like, which again, and this goes back, this was advice I got from a guy named Josh Bryan, who coached me, you know, for one of my shows when he was with 5% Nutrition. And here, I mean, at the time when he coached me, I think he was like 21, you know, and I'm, you know, almost double his age at the time. And I'm, you know, and I have this guy coaching me, and which again, like I have no problem with him. You know, he knows more than I knew about like prepping and all that.
Right.
But he, at the time, I think he had probably 100,000 followers, maybe more than that on Instagram. And this was, you know, several years ago. But one thing he told me, and this was kind of at the beginning when I got on to Instagram, he was like, just be yourself.
Right.
And that stuff I passed on. When people ask me, I'm like, you know, it's I try not to like emulate somebody else's page or be like, because what works for you might not work for me, or you know, vice versa. And so it's just like, I tell everyone, just be yourself, be transparent, be a good person. Like, and because I think the authenticity, like especially nowadays, like people can kind of see through it if you're just trying to like put on an act. And to this day, like one of the best compliments I get usually is you know, if I'm, you know, say I'm here, you know, tomorrow at the event, like, and I'll get when people come up and talk to me, maybe they met me for the first time, they'll be like, and then I'll see them, you know, maybe take a picture and they'll post it and they'll put, you know, he's the same guy, you know, as he is.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that to me is one of the greatest compliments I ever get. No matter what you could say anything else. It's like, if you say he's the same person he is online, like I love that, because it just shows like, and I tell people too, again, with online, it's like, like you said earlier about even just demographics, like you're not going to please everybody or have a product for everybody always. And it's like the same thing, I think, with your personality. It's like, especially in, you know, like social media, it's like some people are going to love you, some people are going to hate you, you know, some people might be jealous of you, or, you know, whatever it is, but you're not going to just be yourself. And it's like the people that do like you and do follow you and do support you, I mean, those are the people you're posting stuff for anyway. So
I remember hearing something that like really, because I think I've heard that a lot, and it's, I think one thing like really helped engrave that into my brain, or like really started to like make sense. And it was Andy Frisella. I heard him talk about this at one point, and obviously Thomas and I used to work for him and learned a lot from him. But he's like, imagine that like you said, when you don't want to try and emulate someone else, because if you try and do that, people will be able to tell that you're faking it. So you're marketing to a demographic of people that are genuinely, maybe that type of person. They'll be able to tell that you're like a poser. So like now you're marketing to nobody, kind of the pina colada without the coconut almost. But if you were just to be yourself, then you'll reach the demographic of people that will relate to who you genuinely are. So
yeah. And another thing I've always tried to do is I try to answer like every single DM I get, whether they're just a lot of it. And to be very honest, 50% of the DMs I get are like people will ask me a question that they could find an answer to in 3 seconds with a Google search,
but you still answer it.
But you still answer it and help people. So I try to answer every DM, help anybody that asks for advice, and I give them, it's not even that I try to give, or I will never, ever give somebody or tell somebody like advice that I don't really know. Like, what I mean? Like I'd rather say like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea, dude. Or, I don't have an ego where I'm going to be like, make something up and be like, oh, well, this is what I do or whatever. And I'd rather just be like, dude, I have no idea. Like, ask me, and I'll refer them to somebody else that I know maybe knows that or something like that. So I think that's gone a long way of just trying to be, like very transparent with people. And again, people that follow me too know that like the way I eat, what I mean? Like I'm never the guy to preach, eat asparagus and broccoli every day. It's like people see me like drinking bourbon, eating pizza, eating cookies, eating ice cream.
Your Ninja Creamy recipes those videos always get me.
Yeah. but that's, and that's what I try to do is like have fun and have some sort of balance. And I don't always have balance.
Yeah.
But and then when it comes time to like, I just did 3 shows this year too. So it's like when it comes time to do something, then I can switch it off and prep and diet and all that. But then, so
I don't know if I knew you did 3 shows.
Yeah.
How close were they?
3-4 months apart.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So you were dieting for a while.
Yeah. I dieted for about 6 or 7 months.
That's a long time.
So I did one in Florida to qualify, and then went up to Pittsburgh and did Masters Nationals.
Yeah,
and then a month or 5 weeks later, went back up for North Americans.
Jeez.
So, yeah,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's what you want, though.
Yeah.
Now I'm just having fun getting hefty again.
There you go.
Yeah. Wait. So, did you earn your pro card?
No, that's what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get confused on some of the national shows. So, okay.
So, and I don't know, like, I talked about maybe trying again next year, but I don't know for sure if I will or not. So we'll see.
Tough to tell when you're, just still coming off of 3 shows. So,
I think I've competed in 11 shows or 12 shows, something like that. But this was the first time I've ever done a national show. So, and then it was very eye-opening because I've done, all the shows I've done are in Florida, and I've won the last 6 shows I did, but then I haven't competed since 2019. So 6 years off, came back, and then I won my class in the Florida show. And so I just have, not that I thought I was going to go to Pittsburgh and just win my pro card. I mean, of course I wanted to, but knowing that I've never been on a national stage, I went up there and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, cause it's like, I tell people, or, I've told people since, it's like at a local show, again, you have some people are there, their first show ever. And it's like, but you can sit in a local show backstage and go like, okay, like I look better than that guy.
Right.
Like that guy forgot to diet.
Yeah.
You can look around.
Yeah.
When I went up for Masters Nationals, I went into this, this back like holding room or whatever, because you're in this holding room, then you go like backstage in the hall, then you go backstage, and before you go to like 4 different places before you go up there. But I was in this big, huge like conference room where they had all the men's physique guys. And I just remember looking around and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like nobody looks bad.
Yeah,
like literally every single guy looks unreal. And I'm like,
right.
man, this is going to be really tough.
Yeah. Right.
So, Yeah. So
it's
but
everybody who plays D1 football was the best player on their high school team.
Yeah,
They're legit.
Exactly. So it was it was cool though. But then to get the experience of doing those. So I know if I decide to do it next year, I know, like what I need to do to try to do a little better. And so I just don't know if I'm going to,
Sure. I remember I heard that when, because I've competed 2 times, mostly for fun. One in 2016 and one in 2019. And I remember I worked with a coach, Sherry Smith here, who's an IFBB pro. She stepped on the Olympia stage back in the day, and she was really big on, and I didn't necessarily have a whole lot of intentions of like going to a national show, or really shooting for my pro card. I was like, you get closer to it and you're like, man, what if I just blow everybody away? And they're like, and the judges are like, you need to go to nationals. And I'm like, have these like cool images in my head. Yeah. And then I get up on stage and like, I don't even qualify for nationals kind of thing. Like I to like give credit to you too. I think people realize like how difficult that is. Mm-hmm. That like, especially I remember my parents asking me like, oh, how did you do, in your shows? I was like, oh, well, like when I, in classic physique, I placed, I think 4th, out of everybody. And we're like, oh man, that's awesome. Like how many people are competing? And they're imagining like 50 people competing. And I'm like, there were 6. So, and they're like, oh yeah, that's like not even the top half, Kevin. And I'm like, yeah, but like all 6 people up there dieted for 16 weeks. They like the people that didn't weren't like, there's a lot
50 people who were gonna compete, only 6 of you made it.
Right. Exactly. Made it to the point where they could step on stage. So a little bit difficult to communicate that to other people.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, to make it to nationals, man, I think that is more difficult than a lot of people realize. Mm. But I remember talking to Sherry Smith and she was really big on just getting experience that like so many, especially younger guys, get so much in this mindset of I'm not going to step on stage until I know I can win my pro card. It's like, you don't know that. Like the only way you gain confidence with winning your pro card is you have to step on stage and compete. Because if you think you're going to step on stage the first time and blow everybody away, you're going to be, it's going to be your first time. You're not going to be experienced. Your posing's not going to probably be perfect. You're probably going to find some weak points that you didn't know you had because you hadn't dieted that way before. That it's just gaining experience, and that will take you a lot further than I think a lot of people realize. So she was always really big on that. So
there is so many aspects that go into it. Like you said, especially posing. It's like, because like I said, before going up there to nationals, I think I did 9 shows. And then that would probably been like 10th and 11th, the Masters and North Americans. But the whole point of what I'm saying is, it's like, I've done 9 shows. I've won the last 6. Not a single person tweaked my posing like at local NPC Florida shows.
Sure.
But then when I go up there, here are these judges and these guys that, head of the IFBB and NPC and all that, and they're tweaking everything I'm doing. So it's kind of cool to really kind of get ripped apart like that.
Yeah, right.
And it helped me with my posing, moving forward too.
Hard to grow if you don't get that.
Yeah. But it was almost like, it almost bothered me to the point where I'm like, nobody said a word to, like,
Yeah.
And I worked with different coaches but even like the judges at the other shows, like nobody critiques you or tells you do this or that. And then you go up there to the people who actually count, and they're like just ripping me apart a good way.
Right.
Helping me. But I was like, man, I wish I would have known this before. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super cool to get all the experience, and like I said, super super eye opening.
Yeah,
like, damn, man.
Right.
That's watching some people that we know go and compete at nationals, and like you kind of see the people that are around and competing. It's just like, dude, that's just a whole different level, man.
Yeah.
Like Thomas said, it's like that's the best player on the team in high school from every school.
Yeah. So, literally.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's what's weird is like, so I ended up at Masters, I came in third and 4th, and then at North Americans I was 4th and 4th. And again, never being on a national stage, I'm not saying I went up there thinking I was going to win, but like I have just this winning mentality.
Sure.
Right.
And so when you go up there, I'm like, I was super disappointed. And then like every single person I talked to, even people back home, even like some IFB pros, like I'm good friends with like Jeff Long. And then like, they're texting and I was like, oh man, I got my ass kicked. And they're like, well, where do you think you're at? And I'm like, I think I'm third and maybe fourth. And I remember he texted me, he's like, dude, he's like, that's top 5 on a national screen. He's like, you act like you're third call outs.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's just, it doesn't compute though. Cause I'm like, it's just, again, I was just like disappointed still.
Sure.
But then the more people I talked to, they're like, dude, it's the first time you've stepped on the national stage and to get top 5. They're like, that's incredible.
Right.
And I was like, and like John was there. John was there. And one of the, at Masters, they combined 2 classes. And so there was 16 people in the one class, and I got 4th in that. So I was happy with that.
Absolutely,
it was cool to do that. But again, it was just like, I think at the time it wasn't registering with me because I'm like, I want to win.
Yeah,
right. To have a chance at taking first is you have to be all in on like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So when if it doesn't happen, like it's can be a letdown. That's for sure. So
So we'll see next year.
Nice.
Yeah. My mentality was like, I just don't want to embarrass myself up there. So.
And you almost accomplished it.
I honestly did. Yeah.
You did great.
Thank you.
You did great.
I honestly, at that point there, it was like, I was just excited to go home and eat pizza.
Yeah. Get a tummy ache.
Yes. Put myself in a insulin coma.
Yeah, right. All right, fellas.
We need to get prepped for the event tomorrow.
Got to do it. You getting excited? You excited?
I am getting excited. I'm excited mostly watching everybody else get excited about it.
Right.
Because we've done this for so long. Like we've done this for 10 years and we used to do 2 every year the first few years. So we've done like, I don't know, like 14, 15 of these.
Right.
So
that's
it's
crazy to think about.
I'll get this tomorrow too. I'll get like, oh man, I remember when you guys first did this and it was like, you just had like, the few tents out front. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that was like 5 years in.
Yeah.
Our first one was all inside the store.
Yeah.
Nothing. We didn't have enough to put outside.
Yeah.
It was, we cleared out the center shelves. We put up a few tables and we saw a total of 50 people over 10 hours. And that was our first sample triad. So,
heck of a day.
Yeah, it was a record day at the time.
That's right.
So it's funny to hear everybody's like first triad sample triad experience, and like get to see how much they have seen it grow. Mm-hmm. Because it's always funny of like, dude, it's grown so much more than you even like realize that it started off as literally nothing. Like that store our first sample triad would be a very disappointing day. A very disappointing average weekday at that store now, as far as like our total traffic goes.
That would be a disappointing day at most of our stores.
Yeah.
It would be an average day at most of our stores kind of deal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I don't know. It's like doing it so many years in a row. There's I don't know, maybe like a little bit of excitement lost from doing it so many times. Mm-hmm. But so my excitement has come from watching how excited everybody else is about it. Running into different customers, either at the gym or at the store or whatever, and getting to hear like how pumped up they are about it. Yeah. And the employees, even just like you and Alyssa, and like Alyssa going like all in on like, I think we should do this. I think we need to add this. She's like,
put a Ferris wheel up.
Yeah. she was like, I think we need to grab the other drink mixer from UConn. I think we, should print these extra signs and do this. So she's like working double time, like adding all this like extra stuff. And, so I think that's where my excitement has been driven from, is watching everybody else get excited, because it's like, a lot of my responsibilities are I'm doing the same thing that I've done 15 times before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's that weird, like, that weird mix of like anxiety and excitement where you're just like, all right, am I getting everything I need to get done? Like, can I have all this? Okay, everything should be good. So you almost like, there's like a sense of like a bit of like okay, it's got to, and then it starts, and I know every single year's the same thing. It's just like, and then it goes, and it's like, the bell rings at 9 and we're off to the races.
It's like 10 till 9 and crowds.
Yeah, for real. We're going to start putting up tape.
Yeah, honestly. But So mine has changed because I used to have that mentality. I think I'm so sleep deprived and so like overwhelmed with like work and 2 kids right now that it's just like, I hope I remembered everything, but like it'll go how it goes, I guess.
Good.
That's my mentality.
So I just get your anxiety.
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing we have you to help make sure we tie up the loose ends and don't miss any.
We got toilets and we got a tent.
That's all you need.
The vendors will bring everything else. Let's go, boys. We got it.
Yeah.
So what episode is this?
Episode 80.
Woo! Episode 80.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this has been really cool. I've really appreciated getting to sit here and talk to you, man. And it's always exciting whenever I get to see you at the events that you come to, whether it's Sample Triad or even like the Edmond Grand Opening. And really appreciated after the Edmond Grand Opening, I was driving. I had an S2 event to go to for Define. And so I left, but on my way, it was either my way there or my way back. I got to watch for like an hour. I just sat watching you do on Instagram like an Ask Me Anything, and you were just sitting in the hotel room just answering questions that I'm like, let's see what Dean's doing. And so, man, I really do appreciate like kind of what you were talking about before. That online presence is super cool, but also every time I've ever gotten to talk to you in person, whether it's just been at these events, like, man, you've always been such a genuine dude who's always very complimentary of what we're doing, and with the experience and the things that you have in the industry, just getting to like hear those kind of things and kind of get some of that love is really rewarding for us, man. So I want you to know that stuff like does mean a lot to us, and we appreciate you being here and doing all the things that you guys do. And Axe and Sledge being obviously just like an awesome product for us and an awesome product for everybody. Making good stuff, and man, it's been really cool. Every time I see you and I get to know you a little bit better, I'm like I like you more and more every time, and that's always a good thing, But man, it is one of those things where it's like when these things start to come up, like when we were talking about doing like the Edmond Grand Opening, and Kevin told me you were coming, like I get genuinely excited to see you, man. And so just thank you a bunch for all the stuff you've done for us and being just a great partner in this. So
I appreciate it. Like I said, like it's because I've done so many events, and again, it's like sometimes people say like, we're doing this event, there's gonna be so many people, and then you go to, and it's like, it's not that many people. And it's like you guys I think are the opposite. It's like I said, it's like the first year we were here, I was like, I remember me and John, and we were looking at each other like, holy shit, this is like they delivered, and so it's cool, and like you said, like you guys, it's like anything. People in this industry, we're all like engulfed in this industry, and it's like sometimes you only get to see each other in person once a year. You see everybody online and DM here and there, or comment or whatever. But it's like anything, like going, to the Arnold, the Olympia, or events like this, where you actually get to hang for a little bit and talk and catch up and stuff. It's always cool, and I love doing events too, and especially when something is such high quality as what you guys are doing here. And like I said, for anybody listening or watching that has not been here and has a chance to get here, it's an event, like no other to me, honestly. It's just, and to me, again, like it's like I said, I think I tell you every year I'm here, it's like the culture that you've built. And again, I remember going back the first year and telling Seth that, I'm like, dude, it's crazy. It's like people all over the place. Everyone's wearing Triad shirts. It's like, and they're all different. Like they're all different designs too. It's like, but I was, and me and Sean, I think the last time I was here for the last opening, when I was at Sean's house, we were just talking about you guys and what you guys have built. And I'm like, it's crazy. And, and they, like Sean, obviously with Pride Foods, he talked about all the support you guys give him and stuff. And he's somebody too. I've worked with him since he's launched as well. And it's just like, you always want to support good people, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's, and that's why I always stand by him too and his products. And because I not only does he have a great product, like he's a great person. Yeah, and it's 100%. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why like I like coming out here and supporting you guys as well. Yeah, you guys are doing great things. Not only with the stores and stuff, but like with the community and all that stuff. And obviously it shows by the people that support you and come out here every year for every event. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, thank you guys for having me on and always including me and Axe and Sledge out here. So.
Yeah. It's thank you again so much for joining us on this episode, man. I know it's a lot of travel and a long day tomorrow, so to throw one of these in the mix is it makes for a long weekend, that's for sure, man. But like I said earlier, is it gave us an opportunity, at least for me, to get to know you better, man. And that and it was really nice and enjoyable to sit down for a couple hours uninterrupted and Get to talk about kids a little bit. Get to talk about the industry a little bit, and
Elf.
And to talk about Elf.
Your hatred for Elf.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's I mean, we talked about your Instagram a little bit. What is your Instagram handle for anybody that doesn't follow?
It's just my full name, so it's at Dean Perrone.
Nice. Yeah. And for anybody that doesn't follow him and is like, where have I seen that guy? He is the intro to Sample Triad video this year. Ryan talked about that, how you had such a genuine things to say about the event that you were just like genuinely like really hyped up about it. He's like, he's going to be I think he even told me last year, he's like, Dean's going to be the intro for that video. So.
When I saw the video come out, I actually sent it to David. I go, dude, I'm in the beginning of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, yeah, it was super cool. When I saw
you got to put the good looking guys on there. That's why Kevin and I aren't on the video this year. So we didn't make the cut.
I was a little disappointed. Yeah, I didn't make it at all.
Hate to see it, man.
But yeah, man, if you guys don't follow Dean, he's got seriously, genuinely awesome and genuine content.
You get a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, man.
So it makes no rime or reason.
Yeah. Right.
I just throw it up there.
That's right.
But man, I always love seeing your stuff pop up. So definitely give him a follow. And appreciate you guys watching.
Yeah. Episode 80.
Episode 80.
Shoo.